The Calgary Police Service continues to investigate a hit-and-run collision from earlier this year that left one victim with long-term injuries. On Wednesday, January the 29th, 2014, at approximately 8:30 p.m., Ryan Harris was driving a 2005 Hyundai Accent with his son Nathan in the passenger seat. They were on Anderson Road Southwest, waiting to take a left-hand turn onto 14th Street Southwest, when they were struck from behind by a Dodge Dakota pickup truck, pushing their vehicle into the intersection. The Hyundai ended up into the path of an oncoming Dodge Durango. The Dodge Durango then collided with the right-hand side of the Hyundai, with both vehicles ending up in the center median. Nathan Harris, the passenger, was transported to hospital in critical condition. The driver of the Dodge Dakota failed to remain at the scene of the accident scene. He has since been identified, and investigators are following up on leads. However, further evidence is needed that confirms that he was in fact at the scene. If you have witnessed this collision or know of the circumstances leading up to the collision, could you please contact the Calgary Police Service Traffic Section at 403-567-4000.
Hi, I'm Ryan Harris, the father of Nathan. It has been a little more than 10 months after this horrific night on January 29th. This night has changed the course of the life of my son, not to mention myself and my family. I am eternally grateful to God and all the staff at the Foothills Hospital that my son is alive, and I also appreciate the hard work of the Calgary police in this investigation. It has been painful, to say the least, to watch my son suffer with this traumatic brain injury that was a result of this accident. As a result, he has trouble today concentrating. He suffers with migraine headaches and has severe insomnia problems. He has had to drop out of university and is unable to work at this time. He is a bright young man whose life has been put on hold for how long we do not know. And this was no fault of his own. Before the accident, he was very healthy. He worked part-time. He even worked enough to pay for his own tuition for school. He just finished his driving course and was enjoying life. Which should have been an enjoyable Wednesday night where we got together regularly to play ball hockey turned out to be a nightmare because of this hit-and-run accident. It is our hope that someone with any information or has witnessed anything would please come forward. Thank you.
Constable, how come if we know the driver of the Dakota, we haven't been able to pursue anything beyond that?
Right now, we have a person of interest that we have spoken to regarding this collision. However, at this time, we still need to corroborate specific information and to actually identify him as actually being the driver behind the wheel of that motor vehicle.
Have you been able to glean much as far as the cause of the crash? Was it, looking at the pictures, was road conditions a part of what forced the two initial vehicles to collide?
It would appear, I was at the collision scene, it would appear that the night time it was snowy, it was icy. There was significant sliding mark, and the vehicle, the Dodge Dakota did in fact rear end that vehicle, which then shunted Mr. Harris out into the intersection.
So what is the specific information that you're looking for?
We're looking for anybody who has knowledge of the actual collision itself, and we're actually hoping that if anybody has spoken to our suspect with regards to this collision, if that might actually come forward to us.
But what's the specific piece of information that you'll need to get in order to lay a charge?
That our suspect right now is the actual operator of that motor vehicle.
So you know that he was there, you just don't know for sure that he was driving the car?
Well, we know that his vehicle was there. We just don't have him behind the wheel of the car operating that vehicle.
Do you have him there at all?
No.
You've been able to track down, I assume then you've been able to track down the vehicle.
Yes, we did in fact track the vehicle down.
Have you spoken to him, and what's his version of events?
We've spoken to him, and he's given us his version of his events. Unfortunately, right now, due to our investigation and the specifics that we're looking for, I can't divulge that information right now.
Can you just tell us if he says that he was driving or not?
I can tell you that he said no.
Who did he say was?
Again, I can't divulge that information.
Ryan, can you just talk specifically about your son's condition? What is it called?
Okay, yeah. He has suffered a traumatic brain injury. So my understanding, which is very limited in trying to understand, but the brain chemicals are not aligned properly, and the recovery can take quite some time. So memory loss, insomnia, not being able to focus. Example, he loves NFL football, and he can't make it through watching a game because it's too hard. He can't focus in on it, or in a movie theater. He's not able to work at this time. It's been very frustrating. It's very, for him. It's to see him go through that. Yeah.
How long was he hospitalized for, Mr. Harris?
He was January 29th. He was in the Foothills Hospital for at least 6 weeks, but receives constant care, and it still does at this time. Yeah.
So can you describe what he was like, let's say, a couple days after the accident compared to now? Has there been any progress? Is this something that gets better over time, or is it something that's relatively permanent?
Well, some of his mobility is a lot better, for sure. There's been some progress, but we've had some setbacks. Bottom line is, we thought he was further ahead than he was, and I'll leave it at that. Yeah.
Physically, he's okay?
Well, I don't know how to answer that. I'm sorry, because he
can walk and has normal movement and everything.
Yeah, he can walk. Yeah, mentally, no, though. A lot of things. Yeah.
How old is he, and what was he in school for? What did he want to do?
He's 20 years old, and he was going in for general studies. Engineering was something he was considering. Yeah.
How does it make you feel knowing that someone triggered this accident? Obviously, maybe not on purpose.
Yeah.
And now they're reluctant to come forward. I mean, how does the situation make you feel?
Well, it's frustrating. It upsets me. I mean, the accident we can do nothing about, but the fact that the person has left the scene and not taking responsibility is very disturbing, and we want to get closure on that, because
I guess through that evening in particular, you were the one behind the wheel, correct?
That's correct, yes.
I guess walk us through sort of what exactly happened from your perspective.
Right, yeah. So that night, as usual on Wednesday nights, my son and I play ball hockey together. So I had picked him up, and we were just talking in the front seat of the car, came to a complete stop off of Anderson in there, turning onto 14th, and relaxed. And then all of a sudden, it happened so quick, we got hit with such force that all I remember is being thrown out into the intersection. My brakes don't work, and there's a car coming the other way. And the next thing I remember is my son is on my lap with blood all over him, and we're in shock. I don't know whether he's alive or that's what I remember, the accident. Yeah.
Were you injured at all, Mr. Harris?
I did suffer some whiplash and some damage to one of my ribs, yes, but
what
not.
are you ultimately looking for? I mean, obviously, as you said, you can't do anything about the accident that's happened, and unfortunately, you have to live with the consequences.
Yeah.
But what are you ultimately looking for? Like, what will bring some level of closure or satisfaction to you?
Well, would be this person that's involved to come forward and to that would bring closure. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. It's just justice. Yeah.
Any other questions? I have a question for Constable. I'm
Sure.
just wondering how it was possible, I guess, in this crash scene for someone to be able to flee. I mean, I'm assuming there were other maybe witnesses. Did no one see him leave?
But this is what we're trying to investigate right now. It is a very busy intersection. Our understanding that evening was that traffic was actually fairly backed up. That was headed just be the intersection prior to that, which would be Elbow Drive. Traffic coming westbound actually was fairly free flowing. This collision was actually fairly significant, and this is what we're asking for. So anybody who saw this to come forward. That was a very, very busy intersection, and somebody must have seen this collision.
And I just saw a picture of some of the damaged vehicles. So that vehicle was able to drive off. Like, were there no mechanical issues slowing it down?
We located the vehicle 3 days later on at a private residence. There was significant damage to the other motor vehicle. Whether or not it was operable at that time, we don't know. We searched the area, the immediate area, and other areas the night of the collision scene. We had officers out deployed to specifically look for the vehicle, and they were unable to locate it.
What's taking you this amount of time? I mean, if you look at the vehicle 3 days later, what's taking you this many months to actually come to this point where you're now asking people to remember something that happened 10 months ago?
This has been a very dynamic collision. There was lots of there was particles left at the scene. It wasn't your average hit and run. We had a lot of evidence to shift through on this vehicle. We had almost over 400 pieces of glass, etc., to put together, and we actually managed to locate this vehicle. What we're asking for now is for anybody who was operating this vehicle at the time, or even saw the collision, just to come forward.
But I guess just in layman's terms, for people who don't know very much about police work, I mean, 10 months seems like a long time. Like, what has taken?
I use the analogy, unfortunately, it's not like you see on TV. We don't solve everything within the hour. We work the best we can do, and we had a lot of evidence to go through this time, like a lot of evidence to go through. And we have 3 vehicles involved as well. And we have somebody who's fled the scene, and allegedly nobody from the public has seen this vehicle. So we had to try and track that vehicle down.
Just wondering if I can, off topic, just wondering if I ask about the 130th and 46th accident yesterday, and whether or not we have any clarity on what exactly police did prior to that accident.
I was not working yesterday, and I'm not involved in that, and that's an ACERT investigation as well.
Are you guys going to be commenting on it at all?
Yeah.
Even just to give your version of events?
It's an ACERT investigation, so you can call ACERT.
Once they take it, we went home.
Can I just clarify? So
Sure.
There was a crash. The crash took place on the 29th of January. The driver of the truck fled the scene. 3 days later, the vehicle, the truck, was found at a private residence. The driver has been interviewed, but he said he wasn't at the scene. Now you've got information that you're just trying to seek other witnesses.
That's correct, yeah. We got information after we actually spoke with the driver. We got information after that he had moved to British Columbia. So we were following up on some leads there as well. And we've been following up on our other leads. Now we have information that we just need to corroborate, and we're looking for the public's assistance in that.
Is it possible the vehicle was stolen?
No, it wasn't at the time, no.
Do you have any pictures of the vehicle? I'm noticing on the screen you've got the accident scene, but the actual vehicle that in question is not on here?
No, we don't. No.
Can you provide that?
No, we can't. Not right now.
We did put a press release out at the time as well, looking for witnesses. So back in January, we appealed for witnesses for the same thing. So this is just a continuation of that. It's not the first time that we've asked for witnesses.
And that photo of your son, that was just shortly after the crash?
That's correct. Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
Has he had to have surgeries and lots of rehabilitation?
Yeah, he had to have his cheekbones had to be reconstructed, and he had some facial plastic surgery done, and he is still going. Still has some care and attention, a lot of care and attention that needs to be attended to, yeah.